Today, we are going to see what is the best stovetop mac and cheese recipe. Welcome to the mac and cheese battle. We have 3 entrants in our mac and cheese battle. Corner number 1, Serious Eats, a 3-ingredient mac and cheese. Super famous on the internet, should be pretty delicious. Number 2, Alton Brown's stovetop mac and cheese. Contestant number 3, we're getting a little modern. We're kicking it up with science. We have Modernist Cuisine at home. Let's start this battle and see who has the best mac and cheese.
First macaroni and cheese we're making is from Serious Eats, and it has 3 ingredients: macaroni, cheddar cheese, and evaporated milk. This is one of the 2 keys to this recipe. Start by weighing everything out. We're doing equal parts of our 3 ingredients. The full recipe with all the weights and measures is in the description below. We've got our cheddar cheese, which is just from the grocery store, nothing fancy. We're gonna weigh it out, grate it on a box grater so that it melts consistently. Doesn't have to be perfect. Once that's done, let's get our stove set up and start on the pasta. The pasta goes in a pan so it'll fit in one even layer. This is the second part of this recipe that is unique. We're using 1 pot and just slightly covering the macaroni with water and a little pinch of salt. We do this because as the starch comes off the pasta, it's going to be left in some really concentrated water and help thicken our sauce. Bring that to a boil and simmer it for about 6 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes less than the package says for al dente. You can see here that there's just a little bit of water left, which is perfect. We'll add in the evaporated milk and the cheese. We're going to cook this for another 2 minutes, basically enough time for the cheese to melt and the sauce to thicken slightly. It'll look like this after 2 minutes, really creamy and delicious.
I'm gonna eat this just right out of this pan, which I think is in the spirit of this recipe. Pretty good. Stick around in this video because we've got 2 more incredible mac and cheese recipes to share with you. Let's talk about how we're going to rank these against one another. We have the EAT scale. On a scale of 1 to 5, we are going to measure ease, the appearance, and the aroma, and of course, the tastiness of each dish. Let's do it for the Serious Eats mac and cheese.
The ease factor, super easy to make. It's only a couple of ingredients. It took 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 5. Appearance and aroma, it didn't keep that sort of shiny texture very long. Really started to congeal, I guess is the right word, really quick. And it didn't really smell like a whole lot, so I'm gonna give this a 2. And last but not least, the tastiness category, I'm gonna give it a 3. Wasn't a lot going on. There wasn't a lot of depth of flavor. That's it for number 1. Let's try our second one.
Our second contestant is Alton Brown, who ran the super famous Good Eat show in the 2000s. This is his stovetop mac and cheese recipe. We're building for the last recipe, and we're gonna try and amp up the flavors with a few quick tips. Let's give it a try.
To make this recipe, we're going to start with a large pot of water, add some salt, and bring it to a boil. We're making this the more traditional way of making pasta. Once it's boiling, add the macaroni right into the hot water and cook about 2 minutes less than the package recommends for al dente. To make our sauce, we're going to start with evaporated milk, and we're going to add an egg. Add a little bit of salt, some mustard powder, and some hot sauce. This is Valentina. This is the exact one that Alton Brown uses in his recipe. Some cracked black pepper. Give that a whisk with a fork or with a whisk and set it aside. My pasta's been cooking for about 8 minutes. I'm going to drain off the water and then add 2 tablespoons of butter with the heat off underneath the pot. Now we're gonna add in the sauce that we made. Just slowly drizzle that in. There's egg in there, so you don't wanna just dump it all in right away for risk that the egg is going to scramble. Once the sauce is in, add some cheese, and then we're going back over the heat, very low heat, medium low at most. Stir for about 2 or 3 minutes until it's really nice and creamy.
Mac and cheese number 2.
Let's rank it against our EAT scale. So on ease, still a really easy dish. We added another pot. I guess we really didn't. We added another bowl. And there were a few other ingredients. You have to be a little bit more careful when you add the egg. So it made it slightly harder to cook. This is still really easy. I think we have to give this a 4, a 4.5. I'm not sure I can do that. Really easy. Slightly more difficult than the last one. Let's settle on 4. Appearance and aroma. This one is holding together. I had to move around the camera to shoot pictures and thumbnails. It still was really creamy, whereas the last one had really started to break and congeal really quickly. This one is holding together. Looks really delicious. Still doesn't smell like a lot of different things. So I think we give this a 3 out of 5. And last but certainly not least, we have taste. This is another bump up in taste. You know, where we sacrificed on ease, we bumped up on the taste factor. Adding in the hot sauce, the ground mustard, helped take this to another level. So I'm gonna give this a 4 on taste. Let's move on.
Our last recipe, Modernist Cuisine at home, takes a scientific approach to cooking. We are going to introduce the ingredient they use to make American cheese, that velvety cheese that melts really well. It's actually really easy to find. We're gonna use it in this mac and cheese from Modernist Cuisine at home. Let's make it.
To start this recipe, we need sodium citrate. Even though I said it was easy to find, I don't have any, so I'm gonna use citric acid and baking soda. Just measure those out. I'll leave a link in the description of exactly how much to include. I've got cheddar cheese, and we're gonna add some Gruyere as well. One of the joys of using the sodium citrate we can use different types of cheese and they're gonna melt really, really well. So to create our cheese sauce, I've got a pan and some whole milk. Just add my baking soda citric acid combination to that, set the heat to low and dissolve. And this became a disaster really, really quickly. This is bubbling up like a kid's volcano science experiment. Thankfully, I saved it. We can turn off the disaster alarms. After a few minutes, everything's dissolved and we're gonna start adding our cheese and blending with an immersion blender. Just slowly add handfuls of cheese until everything's added and blended and we've got a really, really smooth sauce. Now we're just gonna continue like we did on the last recipe. Large pot of water, salt it and bring to a boil. Add some macaroni, stir, cook until it's al dente, drain the water. Now we're gonna add our cheese sauce. Look how delicious this looks. It looks smooth and creamy. I mean, the sodium citrate just did wonders on this. Let's stir it to combine everything. It's a really nice cheese pull on there. Put it on a plate and let's give it a try. Despite a few problems making the modern one, let's give this one a try. So mac and cheese number 3. Let's rank it on our eat scale. We almost had a disaster with it bubbling up. There are some ingredients in this that most people don't have in their kitchen. In fact, the ingredient I was supposed to use, I didn't have in my kitchen and had to improvise. Aside from that, there were only a few steps. Some of these modernist cuisine recipes have an insane amount of steps and take days. I don't think we're gonna give it the lowest possible score, but I think it has to be a 2 probably. On appearance and aroma, it looked really, really good. It had a really, really sort of glassy texture. The cheese was pulling, but you know, it wasn't stretching really long. This one really, really looked really good. I think we need to give this a 4. And then on taste, this just tasted fantastic. Cheese flavored, like there was just cheese in there, and we just used cheese in the first one. That one was sort of bland, and it must be that sodium citrate that was in there that took this to a whole nother flavor level. By adding Gruyere, it really upped it as well. It was fantastic. Frankly, I think we have to give this a 5. I think it was really, really good. You want that cheese flavor, and this is a mac and cheese. Really, really good. Let's take a look at the score. Serious Eats ending up with 10 points. Alton Brown and Good Eats ending up with 11. And Modernist Cuisine at Home also ending up with 11. We have a tie. Well, I guess I did say Brown should have had a 0.5. These were very, very close. I think we have to give number 2 the winner because of that 0.5. Alton Brown Stovetop Mac and Cheese is the winner of the mac and cheese battle. Let me know what you think. If you agree with my ranking, if you have a suggestion for another battle, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.